Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of archaeoastronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information.
While churches rose to the sky in Europe, in 12th century Africa, they were being carved out of the ground. These Christian pilgrims in Ethiopia are on their way to worship at one of them. In these highlands, in the 12th century, Lalibela, a new king from a new dynasty, built a new holy capital. Today, Lalibela's legacy lives on, in the physical splendor of the churches and the traditions of their guardian priests.
My blessed people and congregation, churches with no mud, no wood, and no cement. You cannot find anything like this in the rest of the world. You are all blessed because you are here. This place was built by God.
Every year, on On St. George's Day, pilgrims gather to celebrate a faith that has endured here for 16 centuries. These Christians claimed that God brought the Ark of the Covenant and the tablets of the Ten Commandments to their land. On holy days today, priests carry on their heads replicas of the tablets, wrapped in gilded cloth. The people of Ethiopia have been carving churches out of mountains for more than 1,000 years. But the 11 churches of Lalibela symbolize their achievement to the outside world. Become a legend, his story told by monks even today.
There was a city called Raca, where lived a man who belonged to one of the most noble of families, one of the richest in gold, silver, garments, precious stones, servants and maids. He had a child who became the mysteriously named Lalibela.
In the legend, the king's greatness was recognized at birth. A swarm of bees descended on his cot as if around honey.
His mother named him Lalibela, which means the bee has recognized him as king. But these were not bodily bees, but angels who took bee form in order to announce his reign.
God sent one of his angels to bring Lalibela to heaven, to show him the most holy of churches. Lalibela, the story goes, ordered tools to be made to carve temples like those he'd seen in heaven. His craftsmen turned the wild mountainside into a new Jerusalem.
Yes, we give thanks. Welcome in, family. Just cutting and clearing, family. Just renting and tearing. Just moving the obstacles out of our way. Far eyes. Family, come on in. Get comfortable. Don't be afraid to draw the sword. Fill me.
Babylon have to move. Them could be high, them could be low. Them could be rich or could be poor. When the fireman gets ready, them have to move. Fireball it start.
Yes, royal family, give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie first. Thanks continually to the Father and Mother of creation. Give thanks for the presence of each and every one with us at this very solemn moment. We give thanks for joy. We give thanks for happiness. We give thanks for love, and we give thanks for the mercy of the Most High, Selassie Jah Rastafari. I definitely welcome you. I definitely welcome each and every one to another edition of the Tiger's Nest radio program right here on Radio Anu. We are speaking of the international flavor, the universal spice, giving thanks again continually for life, giving thanks for being in the land of the living. And as the chorus says, Babylon, you're gone, moving all obstacles out of the way. You know, the chorus has a lot of power. Chorus, you know the word chorus. C-H-O-R-U-S, chorus, singing out loud. When you take the C from the chorus, you have chorus. So you better know what's going on, eh? Hey, give thanks. We're going to have a wonderful program. Again, this is the Tiger's Nest. This is a program that comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right here on the International Flavor, right here on the Universal Spice. Once again, I'm speaking of Radio Anu, touching the full international community wherever you are. We are very thankful for all of our supporters. Give thanks for all of the well-wishers. You know, Asante Sana, for those who make it their business to be here every evening, sitting in, you know, for the Tiger's Nest and just, you know, cooperating with the vibes fully. We're very thankful. For those who are joining us for the first time, well, as I said, this is a program that comes to you every evening at the hour of 7 p.m. And of course, what we do here, we elevate the meditation. We go into the different levels, you know, whether it's astronomical, whether it's biblical, whether it's theological, whether it's geological, political, domestic affairs, and we can go on and on and on. That's why it is the Tiger's Nest, the mystic vibration. It is the shock of the hour that is in the realms right now. So family, this evening, as we said, we are going to touch upon a bit of ethnicity as it relates to the Messiah. You know, a subject that is quite old, but it's not worn out at all. In fact, this evening, we're going to take it to a different level. And of course, we have new individuals that are with us. I mean, every time we spin around, different ones are stepping into the boat. So we're thankful for those who may be listening to the program for the very first time. We're very thankful for those who have just caught on to Radio Anu and even the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. This is definitely how we do it here. Did I introduce myself? Hey, I'm the Honorable Priest Isaac. I'm your humble servant for this evening. That's how we do it here, just joy and happiness. Just want to introduce and, of course, reintroduce many ones again to the magazine, Kidemi. We're talking about Fully Loaded. fully online. Definitely for those who would be viewing this as well, all the links will be in the description. Kidemi, brand new magazine. Of course, you could definitely look forward to seeing it in cycles. It is a online, fully loaded magazine. When we say fully loaded now, it is not just literally reading it, but you can also full joy it by watching the videos and also listening to the audios and just full joy in the magazine on different levels. So in other words, as many of you can see and many of you have already experienced it, it's a full flip book in flip book style, and you can also receive the magazine in the scroll version. Definitely designed for your laptop, definitely designed for your cellular phone, whatever type you have, definitely designed for your desktop, definitely designed for your tablet, whatever device that they have designed to try to control us. You definitely can get, of course, Kidemi on your device. So make sure you subscribe, Royal Family, to this, this innovation as it relates to the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Again, your young ones will love it. So many things there for you to see, eh? For those who have been asking about the documentary, for example, Kidemi, a pedimec, pardon me. Well, I shouldn't say pardon me, because it may sound like a slip of the tongue. But that's one of the mystics we never even have taken the time, pardon me, to go into. The anagram with many words, including Kidemi. Yeah, and the academics, which is, of course, the science and the knowledge and information academics. It's a deep thing, eh? The kidemi and the pedimec and the menilec. It's deep when you check the anagram, but some other time we will dedicate some time for that. You, in a sense, caught me off guard there with that one. Slip of tongue, but no fault of the mind at all. But again, for sure, just full joy the magazine. Take your time to go through it. Those of you who are seeing it for the very first time, prepare yourself to get a lot more. We're talking of in different cycles, the magazine will be coming towards you. So another edition is on its way. But for now, we are asking you to assist us, Royal Family, in distributing the fully loaded first edition of Kidemi for us. It's a simple thing. All you have to do is share the link. Of course, as I said to you, you could get it in different fashions, different style, so you could get a link directly for you to have your own PDF version of it. You could get it in the scroll, and you could get it on the flip book. You could just simply visit the website and full joy the book. If you don't want to go through all of that, just visit the website. It's right there. It's a free magazine. No one has to pay to look at it or none of that stuff. And as I said, just full of a lot of good information and vibration there for you. So you could hear it flipping as it's flipping there in front of you. And again, once you're on the website, for sure, the magazine is nothing new to you. It's right there, available as soon as you step in. All right, this is what I wanted to highlight, Royal Family. The movie Anu, Anu the Ancient City. Remember Anu the Ancient City, now produced by the Institute. Of course, the videography itself, the vast majority of it done by the Honorable Prince Alamase. And it has already been chosen as within the realms of a finalist in 2 international film festivals, in South Africa as well as in Italy. In fact, on the 4th of October, which is this year, there will be a special screening in Italy of our movie. I'm talking about Anu, the Ancient City. This is another documentary, another production that you can literally get for free, if you want to use that term, from us. So I'm inviting everyone to watch the full documentary. Let your young ones, your little ones, full joy it as well. And of course, I'm sure you will be happy when you do. So take the time and go through the magazine. We took the time to put it together, and I'm sure you would full joy and appreciate of the work that went into it. Many different articles on different subject areas, of course, your health, your wellness, Brother Thomas Sankara, of course, the full team right here at the Institute really put the work in. I'm telling you, as the editor-in-chief, I could tell you each and every one did their part, and they did their part to the best of their ability. I mean, we need to have an award for this. Yeah, for sure. So give thanks, life giver and the keeper of life. Beautiful. Now, as I said, this evening we are looking to go into a subject area that many ones would have, you know, what should I say? Many ones would have come across and spoken about, and we would have spoken about it as well. I'm speaking about the ethnicity of the Messiah figure. The president of Russia came out the other day and said that, well, hey, listen, man, Christ is black, and the whole world exploded. I mean, I thought we all came to that conclusion already. In fact, Russia, in broad daylight, Russia have biblical icons that are black. Those of you who would have visited Russia, myself and the Honorable Empress Naya would have had a whole program on that, of her visitation to Russia. And it's not as if in those parts of Europe they're actually hiding that the Messiah and the mother is black. The tour guide might try to tell you something else, but those who have eyes can see, But the president came out the other day, and everyone went and made a video on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and it just became a whole big thing. Fair enough. But I want to touch the subject area again this evening on another level. No, not necessarily the true biblical land of Israel. We're going to go into language, not just language, but one specific word. The word is Raca.
Are you searching for unique handmade black cultural crafts, t-shirts, and accessories? Look no further. Introducing your ultimate destination for the vibrant and captivating creations that celebrate Rastafari and African culture. At Black Dominion, we bring you a curated collection of exquisitely designed, crafted products honoring the rich heritage of Rastafari, Ethiopia, and the Black diaspora. With our user-friendly website, shopping is a breeze. We ship worldwide, bringing Black culture to every corner of the globe. Visit www.blackdominion.shop today and start exploring the incredible range of handmade Rastafari and Black culture. Find your inspiration, embrace your roots, and stand out from the crowd.
Definitely stand out from the crowd. Tell you, I like that one. Yes, blackdominion.shop. That's blackdominion.shop. And of course, definitely remember they're also featured in the magazine Kidemi. So as I said, if you're trying to get the Black Dominion and you say, what is it again? Blackdominion.org. No, it's not that. Oh, blackdominion.com. No, UK. I mean, come on. It's all right. Just go to the magazine Kidemi. You know where to find it. It's right there on the website, PreciseXinstitute.com. And of course, you can definitely browse through and you will find Black Dominion. So we give thanks for the mighty prophet and full family, Prophet Corey Harrison, of talking about the family there, Black Dominion in full effect. Yes, royal family, let me make sure everything is in order here. Very good. As I was saying earlier, the whole concept of the ethnicity of Christ. Well, some will say the color of Christ. But so we don't confuse it, let's just keep it on that scientific level for the moment. The ethnicity of Christ. And and the Messiah, and not really just, who he was as far as if he really existed and all of that. But we are speaking in the whole context of our knowledge of the Christ figure, the knowledge of the Messiah. Now, as I said at the beginning of the program, for those who may just be coming in, we are speaking of the Christ figure that is seen in the Bible, Yahshua. Rastafari would say the Jesus Christ. People will say who in modern day language we call Jesus Christ. Now, I tend to differ with that, with the Jesus Christ thing. I tolerate it at times, but it's a very serious thing, because there's a strong difference between Jesus Christ and the Jesus Christ, the Yahshua Christ, even the Jesus Christus, and what's the other one? There's another Christ there, and Isa of the Muslim, they all still have a different energy than Mr. Jesus Christ. I'll show you a clear example. Now, Jesus Christ was not only born of the Virgin, but being birthed from the Virgin is an ancient concept. The Immaculate Conception is an ancient concept. We can go into that right now as it relates to the different crucified saviors. You know of the 16 crucified saviors, the book, but it's more than 16. The crucified saviors are the same saviors that were born from the Immaculate Conception, not necessarily a virgin birth in all these different episodes. For example, I would hear people say that I think it's Mithra was born from a virgin. Well, I don't know exactly which version of the story they're reading, but Mithra himself came out of the rock. Yet still, an immaculate conception. Some saviors come out of the side of their mothers, yet still an immaculate conception. That's why even Hatshepsut, the living queen of Kemet, although we know her father is the great Tutmos, but yet still she speaks of Amun-Ra coming and mating with her mother and bringing her into existence. Amun-Ra, the god, the deity Amun-Ra. She have a daddy, but in her writings she says Amun-Ra that came and impregnated her mother. And in fact, that's not just her strange idea. In fact, all of the great kings, all of the great queens, all of the great messiahs would, I'm speaking of ancient Kemet now, would definitely highlight that Amun-Ra, at least from that time, was their real father. Not their father, but I'm just saying it in a little, in such a joyous way. But when you read the story properly, she clearly shows you that Amun-Ra came unto her mother disguised as her father. Now tell me, think of it, eh? Amun-Ra came to her mother disguised as her father. She even asked if it was him. That's in Hatshepsut's story concerning how she was conceived. But again, that is not unique just to her alone. The king is the son of Amun-Ra. So the king will always have somewhere in his temple tomb or wherever it is that he is reigning over a story speaking of his conception. And his mother's name, his literal earthly mother's name will be used. And his father, his earthly father, will be in the story as well. But his divine father, the one that is given the credit for his or her in the case of Hatshepsut's birth, is Amun-Ra. But Amun-Ra would appear disguised as their biological father. I mean, come on, man. It's not no big, long puzzle, it's obvious that the man himself, is carrying the spirit of the Christ, the God, just as the story says. The living spirit of the God comes in the man. So the man has either reached to that level of the Christhood or the Godhood, or the divine spirit would have just possessed him. And even to possess him, he himself would have to already be of a holy status. I wonder if you're following what I'm saying here. So it's the same thing, Mary and Joseph. We don't have to argue about that, because the bloodline, the genealogical chart, the family tree of Joseph was given in Matthew chapter 1. In fact, even in the book of Luke, again, it was the family tree of Joseph that was given to us. Even though both of them have certain different discrepancies amongst them, obviously. I'm talking about Luke and Matthew. Both of them give you a genealogical chart for Christ, for the Messiah. And the chart, the bloodline family tree, in both cases leads to Joseph. It's obvious. You could just read Matthew chapter 1, anybody. That's how it begins, with the bloodline that leads to Joseph. It does not lead to Mary. I know I can read. It does not lead to Mary, neither does the family chart for Joseph or for Christ in the book of Luke. That does not lead to Mary neither. The both of them leads to Joseph, the husband of Mary. And the Bible literally tells you who was supposed to be, in brackets, the father of the Yahushua, who they would call the Jesus. Now follow this good. If this Christ figure is just simple, if the Christ figure is supposed to be of the lineage of David, the Christ figure is supposed to be of the lineage of great King Solomon. That means either his mother or his father or both would have to somehow be of this lineage. Now, of course, the debate has been on as it relates to Mary. Some people say the reason why Mary could carry them back to Egypt is because Mary was an Egyptian woman. Some credit her as being Levi, and then you see other scholars, for obvious reasons, credit her as being of Judah. Okay, fair enough. But let's be clear here. Why is it that the scripture gives you Joseph's bloodline, family tree, his genealogical chart? Why is it that they didn't give you Mary's family tree, genealogical chart, to see if she would lead us back to Solomon, to see if she would lead us back to David? Because this is a requirement for the Christ figure, that he must be of the lineage of King Solomon, that he must be of the lineage of King David. And I will repeat again, the Bible clearly highlights in Matthew and in Luke the family tree that leads from David to the Christ, to the Messiah. And in both cases, the lineage, the family tree, is the family tree of Joseph, the supposed father of Christ, the man that didn't have any intercourse with Mary to produce the Christ according to what the religion would preach. Now, the conversation is not to even get into nobody's religion. I wouldn't even spend no long time with none of that, is just to draw the picture of the philosophy that we are talking about. That's really it. I'm not even arguing with what anybody believes. So if you're there grumbling, saying, well, the Bible also said, that the Holy Ghost can, hey, I know, believe me, I know. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just showing you. And I'm using common sense. So when common sense kicks in, belief and so go to sleep. So let's do some common sense. And we're following the narrative of the story. Because I can spend a whole hour talking about the difference between Matthew's genealogical chart and Luke's genealogical chart. Because anyone who's read these charts that I'm speaking about knows that they something's wrong here. But yet still they both lead back to Joseph. And one starts from Solomon and one starts from Nathan. But again, don't really want to take the time to go into that. But the main point is, whoever confused whatever, because we would have done programs on that. The point is, those charts, both of them, yes, they stem from David and they end at Joseph, Mary's husband, who is not the daddy of Jesus Christ. And these charts were put there to prove to you that Jesus Christ is of the lining of David. So, yo, this is genealogy we're speaking about, genealogy. That has to do with genes, DNA, blood tests, all of that stuff. So the point I'm making is that if Joseph has no biological connection to this young Messiah, so why are we, highlighting his family tree twice in the given Bible to prove that his stepson is the Messiah? You see, they call Christ in the Bible the son of what? Son of God. Okay. They call him the son of something else. The son of man. So he's one of two things. If Christ is the son of man, it's either his father is a man. No. God is his father. Well, God is a man then, because somebody is a man here. And he's the son of a man. So who's the man? Is God the man or is Joseph the man? Now, as I said, I know even the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, basically, as one brother was saying one evening, there ain't no difference between the Roman Catholic Church and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church as far as the philosophy. Obviously the Orthodox Church has a strong, Afrocentric energy without a doubt. Even just the ceremonies, you can see that. I mean, they're so beautiful and there's a strong African spirit there. But the argument was that the philosophy ain't no different. It's just the same thing. But anyway, I'm saying that to say, I'm not arguing that point. Obviously, for example, the point I'm speaking of here, like virgin birth, etc., an Orthodox Christian is not going to agree with me. No. Jesus Christ, and they would say that too. Jesus Christus was born, no mother, no, pardon me, no father, just mother alone. Okay. Melchizedek, according to the scriptures, had no mother nor father. So how did that one work? He must have just woof, out of the breeze, because that's a tough one now. No mother, no father, pardon me, and a mother. That's heavy. Yeah, that's heavy because in the insect world, you can do that too, Yeah, man. Bees can do that, literally. The Immaculate Conception virgin birth. Literally, the honeybees can do that. Yeah. Because people would say, hey, you can't deny the power of God. This is not denial of anything, Not because it can be done mean we believe it, We're talking rationally and realistically. I tell you, the people them give you a bloodline chart that lead to the wrong person, but it led to the right person. But religion has come and started to screw up our mind now. The ancient philosophy of the virgin birth, which is an ancient symbolic philosophy, has become literalized. Hmm? Yeah, so the story get real twist up. And people now believe in all sort of things. People die and come back to life. All that is a part of the belief. That is Jesus. That's not Yeshua. Yeshua, I am sure. Yeshua's father is Yehoshaphat. And everybody know that. No complaints here. Well, I tell you, the Bible said that Joseph was going to put away Mary. It's not religion I come to argue, you know. I can sit and box that out with you, you know. Trust me. Muhammad Ali here, I will tell you how much rounds you're going to last. But I'm not here for that right now. I just want to have a sensible reasoning. I want to talk no religion. I know what the Bible say. I'm quite aware. I just want to have a sensible reason. I'm showing you the difference between the black Messiah, the Yeshua, the Jesus Christ, and the Jesus. As a Christus boy, I have to wonder where he fit in. I know he's black, you know, that's for sure. But then the concept, again, very important. Africa has the concept of death and resurrection. Anubis is the one that wrap them up and bring them back to life. But that's highly symbolic. That is the mythos in its highest state. The concept again of the virgin birth of Asa with Aset that brought forth Heru, the hawk-head god. That again is highly symbolic. So King Emmanuel teaches us that it's mother and father that bring forth every human being. And it only makes sense. It's just the whole male chauvinistic vibration that came in, and intercourse is a sin, and so many different sort of weird conception that they came and tried to infiltrate in the mind of the African world. So I'm just clearly showing you that the Jesus was born on the 25th of December. Yeshua was born on the 7th of January. The Jesus, that's the Jesus earthly, the 7th of January. I can tell you this, Jesus was born in a manger somewhere in Palestine. And listen, everything about Jesus is supposedly. But the Yeshua, the Jesus Christ, was born in a cave in Ethiopia. Now I've heard one say, come on, you got to prove that one. No, we had the Ethiopian scholars with us. Brother Barham Jacques and Brother Michael. I mean, scholars. And you heard it from their mouths that the Christ was born in a cave. In a cave, not the Ethiopia part, but they clarified for sure that he wasn't born in a manger, he was born in a cave. Now, again, all respect to the brothers, eh? But if you recall, when I did sit with Brother Michael, I was bringing this point up of where the true Bethlehem and Jerusalem was. I mean, no one have to feel no way. You know, the biblical land of Israel philosophy that I would have brought out. Most people never really took the time to look at the Bible from that angle to see that the geography, pardon me, that is being expressed in the Bible highlights Africa. The geography of Israel that is expressed in the Bible highlights the land of Africa plus Arabia. So the sit down that I had with him, that's a couple of years ago. That's before this last round here. you know, I was bringing it up, and it was mystic. It was as if he was, hey, I agree with you, I agree with you, but I know the philosophy don't necessarily say that. It's a mystic thing. That's why ones would rise up and say, well, you know, we don't know of Christ being born in no cave in Ethiopia. Well, again, we can prove without a doubt that the birthplace of Christ and the city of David for sure is not in Palestine. According to the book of Chronicles, it's on the west side of the Nile. Some of our listeners have taken up the argument that the Gion is some sort of spring in Palestine. I can't believe it. Well, maybe I can. That's one of the tricks that the enemy has used to take you away from the knowledge of what is taking place in reality. In the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 13, it clearly highlights that there is a river that encompasseth Ethiopia. And you could argue about where Ethiopia was at the time and which landmass is Ethiopia. One thing we know the region where Ethiopia is. Whether it's Nubia it's talking about, because people will tell you, well, it's really talking about Nubia. It's all right. Don't worry ahead. Well, I think it's more Punt. That's Somalia, and it's all right. It's the same region. Aksum was the real. It's okay. Don't worry your head. It's not Palestine. Yeah. And it says that the Gihon, Gihon, is the river that encompasses this region here. Now, the Gihon is mentioned in other places. The Gihon is mentioned again in the book of Chronicles. Second Chronicles, chapter 33. And it is said that the city of David was to the west of the Gihon. Now, if the Gihon is the river Nile, like Genesis says, because, I mean, this Gihon in Genesis 2, right? Listen to me good. I want you to hear this. When you read Genesis chapter 2 and you hear about this Gihon, every time I read it, I see this massive river. Even the path that it's taking now may not be the path of that time according to the distance, and if it's a creation story we're talking about. But anyway, you just see this massive river, at least myself when I read it, even when I speak about it, when I say, and the river that encompasses it, Genesis 2, chapter 13, I just see this river, this massive rushing water, big. I just always see that. You comprehend? So that's Genesis 2, verse 13. But then now in Second Chronicles, chapter 33, verse 14, it says now that the city of David, which is Bethlehem. Some say it's Jerusalem, but hey, listen, anyone, it's all right. Not arguing that neither. But the city of David is where Christ was born to, Bethlehem. But anyway, the city of David was considered to be to the west of the Gihon. That's in Second Chronicles, chapter 33, verse 14. So if you want to find the city of David and you don't know where to go, well, for starters, it's on the west of the Nile, the river Nile. Because the river Nile is the Gihon in Genesis chapter 2, verse 13. Now, a philosophy would have sprung up. Apt word to use, sprung up. That the Gihon is a spring, some spring somewhere in Palestine. Because obviously, if the Gihon is the Nile and the city of David, where Christ was born, is to the west of the Nile, obviously Palestine would be disqualified. you would have to be somewhere in Sudan, Kemet, or modern-day Ethiopia. Now, hear this. Many people argue that the Guyana is not the Nile, it's the Blue Nile. Okay. Now, it does make a difference to a degree depending on what you're trying to express, but it doesn't change this argument here one iota. In fact, if it's the Blue Nile, oh, well, you really bring it home. You really bring it to Abyssinia there, because that's where the Blue Niles strike up from. The Great Lake Tana. So I'm saying now, royal family, that the Yeshua and the Jesus are two different people. Number one, they have different names. They were born in different places. They have different birthdays. One have a father and one don't have a father. One have children and the other don't have no children. They don't even look alike. How are you going to tell me Jesus is the this version of that? No, different. There's two totally different people you're talking about. There's nothing similar. It's not as if they were born in the same place. One died and came back to life, all of that kind of stuff. It's two people. You're talking of two different people here. In fact, one is reality and one is fable. It's easy to figure out which one is the fable, eh? That ain't hard at all. You want me to give you the criteria again? So what I'm saying, the whole concept now of the Christ figure, and again, this is why I'm highlighting that we have to just look at the thing realistically, I just want to highlight something for you, royal family. I hope everyone is blessed. Now, several years ago, just looking for some information here, I would have come across somewhat of a Bible dictionary itself. And this Bible dictionary as such would have highlighted the specific words or the words that were found within the book. Very old book. I got it from my mother. It came with a set of what do you call them stuff there? Encyclopedia. Yes, and it would have highlighted a lot of words, which the word I'm going to speak of this evening, Raca, is the word I want to bring to your attention. Now, I don't have that book. I can't even remember the actual name of the book, straight up. But don't worry, we have the information here for us to share with the family. Also, there was a specific Bible that I had. Also, I got that one from my mother as well. And those of you who know those King James version of the Bible, where in the front it says, "To our Lord and mighty King James," something like that. "Our Lord Almighty King James." Some serious stuff where King James is actually seen like a Christ figure. But anyway, in that Bible, in the book of Matthew chapter 22, in the book of Matthew chapter 22, there is a verse, that verse, where Christ is saying, "Thou shalt not say unto thy brother, Raca." Now, even if I'm paraphrasing it, is the word Raca that I want to highlight. Within that Bible, in the footnote, it says, Raca is a word that has been untranslated. It is Ethiopic. That's what that Bible said. So I mean, like, wow, that's something else. Now, first of all, what is Ethiopic? What kind of language is that one there? Ethiopic. I know of Coptic. Hear me good? And obviously we know, Ethiopian languages. But what is Ethiopic? Ethiopic is gays? Well, I would have asked the good rabbi that on one of our encounters, Rabbi Raca, and he did share with me that basically Ethiopic is basically gays. Of course, he's well learned and more so of a scholar within it. So I think there was some minute details as it relates to whatever difference there is. But in general, just to the untrained eye, basically it's the same thing. But from my knowledge of Ethiopic is considered the language that is utilized in the clergy or in the church, which is basically the gays. Gays is gays, but the Ethiopic is considered to be that used in the church. So more than likely, it would be an onlooker that would say that's Ethiopic. That's the language they use in the church. But it's the Ge'ez, you know. Now, Ge'ez is considered by many to be the oldest language. I'm just going to begin by reading this. Now, of course, this is from Bible study, Bible study tools.com, Bible study tools.com. Mm-hmm. And it's highlighting James chapter 2, verse 20, and also reference was made to Matthew chapter 5, verse 22 that I mentioned earlier. Raca. And remember, the word Raca means you fool, not you fool, that's what it means, you fool. So it's saying, thou shalt not say to thy brother Raca, meaning that you should not say to your brother, oh, thou fool. Be nice then to your brother. But again, let me repeat that the word Raca is a word that was left untranslated according to the Bible that I just highlighted to you and the Bible dictionary. Didn't come with the Bible, these were just old books. You get some of the best knowledge in them old books, you know that. All them pretty books people write in today, or like people get caught up in the cover. I mean, this is the age where don't judge a book by its cover. Those old books that don't even have no pretty cover, just gray and just that's it. And the writing there engraved. Those are the type of books that have the real knowledge and the real information. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's deep. So anyway, again, it's untranslated for whatever reason, and it's Ethiopic. So of course the question is, okay, who's speaking here, by the way? Christ. When you read the Bible, when Christ is speaking, well, certain Bibles, when Christ is speaking, it's in red. So this is one of them red words. I hope you follow me, eh? This is one of these red words. It's a word that somehow hasn't been translated. All right. What type of word you say it is? Is an Ethiopic word. Okay. Interesting. Now, for those of you who study this sort of stuff, obviously you're going to also come across that it is Aramic as well. But if you take your time, because you need to understand scripts. Now, many people say that the Ge'ez, which is the Ethiopic, is somehow twinned with the Coptic coming off of the Demotic and the Hieratic, and of course the ancient Medu-Neter. So, in other words, the Ge'ez is like a script form of the same hieroglyphs, the ancient Medu-Neter. Very important point, I will tell you why. because within Ethiopia, the ancient monks will tell you that Ge'ez is the oldest language. In fact, our good brother Rasaya Dones has lessons that some of them you can see them on YouTube where he's highlighting the anciency of Ge'ez is way beyond what we think. I'm talking of the Ethiopian language, the Ge'ez. Some say Ge'ez or G's, but Ge'ez. Now, follow me good. I'm just going to read this for you quickly. Before I read it again. So we need to understand the scripts. One of the main scripts from that part of the world that is given credit for a lot of the languages that sprung up is the Syriac script. You have to follow this good, eh? It's the Syriac script. And so the Aramic, which many people consider to be the older brother of the Hebrew, which Hebrew itself, I'm not pretending to be no Hebrew scholar now, or any one of these languages scholar, just a historian and a researcher. Okay, good. But for sure, they have some different type of Hebrews. In fact, it's the Hebrew speakers I hear saying this, not me. So even the brothers and sisters that are in the Hebrew Israelites that are versed with the Hebrew, they will tell you, hey, them fellas up there in the Yiddish land in Palestine, they're not really speaking the real Hebrew. They're speaking Yiddish Hebrew. Say, wow, okay. So I guess it's a different dialect of the Hebrew. But the argument is, in the linguist world, that Hebrew is the child, basically, of Aramic. That's why the Bible is seen in Aramic and Hebrew. Not Amharic, you know. Aramic. And again, that's why Arabic. And these languages are considered to be taken from the Syriac script. Of course, you know, amongst the scholars, they're going to have different opinions, but basically that's the consensus. So then again, so the argument about the age of Hebrew, because if Hebrew is a daughter of the daughter of a daughter, well then ones that argue that Hebrew is the first language, sometimes, you know, it doesn't really fit in. But then let's return back to what I want to read to you quickly here. But wilt thou know, O vain man? These are words of the apostles. Now, of course, this is in the book of James, one of the apostles of the Christ figure as well. So the James 1 is not the word of the Christ. But in the book of Matthew, when he mentioned Raca, that's the word of the Christ. Okay. These are the words of the apostle, resuming the argument that faith without works is dead, useless, and unprofitable. And the man that boasts of his faith and has no works to show it, he is called a vain man. Now, apparently that should be the Raca, as you see it's there in quotations. An empty one, sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. Empty vessels make the greatest sound. We say around here, empty vessels make the most noise. Such are proud boasters, vainly puffed up by their fleshly mind, but are empty of the true knowledge of God, and of the faith of Christ, and of the grace of the Spirit. The Syriac version renders it, O weak. You see that? The Syriac version renders it, O weak, O feeble man, as he must needs be, whose faith is dead, and boast of such a lifeless thing. And the Ethiopic, here it is, and the Ethiopic version renders it, O foolish man, that is Raca, O foolish man, for such an one betrays his ignorance in spiritual things, Whatever conceit he has of his knowledge and understanding, the character seems leveled against the Gnostics, who are swelled with a vain opinion of their knowledge, to whom the apostle addresses himself thus. The phrase vain man is a proper interpretation of the word agree, Raca. I hope I pronounced that one correctly. The previous one, but Raca or Rika. You see it there? Raca or Rika, used in Matthew chapter 5, verse 22. Now, the fact that you see Raca, you have Rika, and that's why in these languages, for example, in Hebrew, shalom, in Arabic, salam, in Amharic, salamta. So you see? So that is why even ones of the East, although they may supposedly have a different tongue, sometimes they can pick up what you're saying. It's just like Portuguese and French and Spain. Sometimes to me, I don't even know what I would listen to something in Portuguese and I think it's French. You know, depending on the Creole that you speak or the patois that you flex, you could understand another language that you were not necessarily taught. Again, many languages are family to a specific root. In Africa, I think it's between 2 or 4 roots they have, like the Bantu, etc., etc. But anyway, again, even on that level there, I wouldn't consider myself the scholar. I was highlighting a scholar a few programs back. You remember Asa Imhotep, you know, so when we're speaking of specific subject areas, we go for the scholars, the masters in the field. So yes, so it's obvious that we have a word in the scripture. This is my main point, eh? We have a word in the scripture that was not translated. The word is Raca or Reki. In the Bible, it's seen as Raca, R-A-C-A. As I said, decades ago, I would have already seen in a Bible that, you know, I don't even know where that Bible is now. But anyway, yeah, it was, yeah, I know. But anyway, in a Bible, it was clearly said that Raca was untranslated and an Ethiopic word. And you can see here for yourself that it is also seen in the Ethiopic language as, oh, foolish man. But that's what Raca means, thou foolish man. So whatever James was saying, yes, you could connect it to vain man and empty one. And again, it has a Syriac link. But if Ge'ez is really older than the Syriac tongue, which many Ethiopians argue, some people argue that Ge'ez is the first language. There must be a first language, that's for sure. And we know for sure that Ge'ez is the same hieroglyphs in a so-called cursive form. So Christ is speaking Ethiopic. That's interesting. That is interesting. I mean, that's what I'm getting here. What you getting there? If the book says that Raca is untranslated, if the book says that Raca means you fool, come on, let's not be foolish now. Interesting is that the word that's untranslated, you fool. So that means let's be wise here. We don't want to be called no Raca here. According to that scripture, according to the ancient understanding, we're looking at an African word, an Ethiopian word, Ethiopic, which is Ge'ez. And it has not been translated, and it was a word that came out of the mouth of Christ. And you want to tell me that the Guyana is some little spring in Palestine? Yeah. So family, that is why, you know, the ancients around us tell us we just got to use common sense, eh? And just the reality of what is in front of us. Because as I said, when you read the Bible, Raca is in red. Matthew chapter 5, go and check it out. Verse 22, have a look. It's not necessarily the content of the verse. And of course, I'm sure, I mean, not sure, I know for a fact that it has its value. But I'm just highlighting one single word, Raca. It's not an English word. That's the point. They just had to write it how it sounds. Somehow, I don't know if it's a miracle, but it's untranslated. Right there, still there. And it's Ethiopic. Do we have to analyze it again? Well, then the speaker was speaking Ethiopic. More than likely, he was an Ethiopian. But he was born in Palestine. Who says so? According to the Bible, he was born in the city of David. And according to the same book, the city of David is to the west of the Guyana. This is why your teachers had to go and make up this story about the Guyana is a little spring up there in Is Not Real. Because, you know, they had to patch up the story because the wise ones were waking up. Hey, family, if you're just coming in, do give thanks. This is the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel, And of course, within it, you get a good read. You get a good comprehension of exactly what we are talking about when we say that the Bible clearly shows you that the land of Israel is not Palestine, that little stripper thing there. The land of Israel, according to the biblical description, is all of Africa plus Arabia. So tell Netanyahu, don't try to come and invade nothing here. The people of Israel is neither you neither, according to Amos chapter 9, verse 7, and so many other scriptures. It clearly shows who the true Israelites are, the Israelites. I can get scientific with it now, the Ebionites. Yeah, 144,000 petals of lights and minutes of arc per second. So yeah, oh, glorify the life giver and the keeper of life. Yes, family, I give thanks for the moment. I am encouraging each and everyone to take a look again at the magazine, Kidemi, for sure. You could definitely, well, if you're listening to Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice, you are already on the website for sure. So you could just definitely jump right in and browse through and run through the articles. I know many of you have already started to read the articles. Maybe you are not completed as yet. Just continue to go through. Remember, we have another edition coming in due season. So don't wait too long to complete this magazine. It is beautiful reading. Remember, we are humbly asking you to share it with a friend, share it with an enemy, share it with your family, share it with everyone. Let them know. You have a WhatsApp group, share it on your WhatsApp group. Please, I'm asking you. I'm sure you can do that for me. You have a Facebook account? Well, you know that. Share it there. And I'm sure you are part of Facebook groups. Share it. You must be saying, wait, is work the priest giving us to do? Well, don't feel no way. You give the priest a lot of work to do too. So, I mean, share and share alike. And then now you could also share it on your email groups, your email lists. Share it and just share it and let everyone know that we have the magazine here fully loaded. They can full joy the interview that we did with Brother Baba Heru. I mean, that alone itself is worth the price of admission, really. And of course, as I said, you could see the movie, the documentary, Apedimek, that is The Lion of Judah Has Prevailed. And of course, the soon to be award winning documentary, Anu, the Ancient City, short documentary, I may add, beautiful for the youth. And of course, yes, and we have segments for the children as well. We're talking about our Swahili corner, beautiful, beautiful expressions and some wonderful videos to go with it. And as I said previous night, you know, we have some new products that we will be launching very soon. Yes, I'm sure everyone will be delighted to see what we are bringing to the forefront as it relates to the upliftment of our people and the benefit of our society, because that's why we're here. We're not here to sing and dance. We're not here to entertain. It's not as if we don't have nothing to do but talk, but this is a work of liberation, you know, a work of salvation and a work of redemption. I give thanks for each and every one who took the time to sit with us, and I am honored that you always take the time to sit with and I fully appreciate love those of you who continually wish us well and continually show support and encourage us to keep this going. And you know, we encourage you to keep whatever you do going that is in the name of right and in the name of justice and equality and all of that, you know. Yeah, family, obviously, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And yeah, it takes some real eyes to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Kidemi, yeah, fully loaded magazine. King Emmanuel the Seventh, Donia God, Jah, Rastafari. That's it.
Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today. Prosperity.